Today we are going to put an aluminium trail engine guard on the bike, or bash plate as you'll probably know it. And this one's from Adventure Spec. It's made from 4mm aluminium, and it would have been made flat and then bent up and then welded. And I don't know if you can see the welds on that, but they're absolutely beautiful. The aluminium that they used is 5754 aluminium to get the right balance between strength and weight. And it is, I mean, yeah, it's pretty stiff. I think it's going to be a lot better than the sort of 2mm flimsy one that they attached, and then these bits here are actually just plastic. So there's quite a lot there. There's water pump, engine casing. There's actually quite a lot there that are quite vulnerable. I don't think you can see it's slightly offset as well to allow for the engine casing sticking out on the near side there. It's got this plastic runner underneath made from high density polyurethane, and the idea is that whatever you hit you're going to slide over, and there's a big gap between the back of the engine and where the shock sits. So the shock sits about here, and anything could sort of go up, and like if you're going over rocky stuff or over logs or over rocks, anything could go up in there and damage the shock. So the idea is that as you go over things, nothing's got the chance to get up there. So I really like the idea of this. I think it's really, really cool, really neat. One other bonus from this is you can actually get to the oil plug, so you can drain the engine without having to remove this. It's only 5 bolts, but it's a bonus. Right, what comes with it? So you get the instructions, which are fairly rudimentary. It's just basically take the old one off, put the new one on. But it does give you the torque settings on there as well. So we've got a little torque wrench that goes up to, I think the maximum one that was on the sheet is 21 Newton meters. So we've got a little torque wrench there, 13mm socket, a 4mm and a 5mm Allen key, and we've got a tiny bit of Loctite there. It doesn't say to use Loctite, but I'm just going to put a tiny bit on there because things have a habit of unscrewing themselves and falling apart, even with the right torque settings. So what we're going to do is take the first one off. We're going to compare it to this, have a little look and see what the differences are, the major differences are. I think basically it's going to be that this is bigger and more protective, and obviously it's thicker as well, stronger. And then we're going to mount this, and we're going to show you in detail how to do it. These are actually literally just plastic, just not exactly sure what they do, to be honest. Probably more for covering up stuff, I would think. And then for the rest of it, that was a 5mm Allen key, and for the rest of it we've got a 13mm socket. That was actually loose, bizarrely. That didn't need taking off at all. That was loose. So there you go. That's where we're going to use a little bit of thread lock, or in this case Loctite 243. How bizarre. That was ready to fall out pretty much. Yeah, this is pretty flimsy, I've got to say. You can see it just flexing there. Oh, in fact, I've just bent that. So yeah, that wasn't going to provide much protection. What I'll do is I'll just give it a little clean up and go and weigh it to see how much weight we're going to add to the bike by putting the new one on, and give you a close-up look when it's not absolutely filthy. Okay, so this is the new Adventure Spec bash plate, and this is the original one that was on the bike. As you can see, it uses the same holes, but I mean these bits go on the side here, but there's really no comparison whatsoever. I'd say this is about 2mm thick. This is 4mm with some beautiful welds on. Obviously, you can see it's an awful lot bigger, and I'm never going to use this again, so I'm actually just going to try. Yeah, look. There you go. Basically, scrap. So, out with that. And just before any keyboard warriors start saying that that's made of Chinesium, it's not, it's obviously made of aluminium, but this is the standard one that you get on a KTM 690, a rugged off-road dual sport bike, yes, and this is the standard one. And I think that's why companies like Adventure Spec exist, is because they get to make these wonderful parts so that you can upgrade your bike to make it the bike that you want. So, we've got our lovely stainless steel M8 bolts with hex head rather than the socket head that the original ones had. and it just goes in the original fittings there. So let's get it on. So you've got 4 M8 bolts, fairly short, and then this is, what's that, 25, 30 mil. This one goes in that hole there. That's the only one that's different. So now I'm just going to tighten them up with the Allen keys. So we're just going to torque these up. It's 21.2 and 8.7 for the M6. So, click, click. Click, click, there we go. So that's the installation done. So hopefully now you can see that the level of protection is much better. The original one went up to about here where the exhaust headers meet. But yeah, I think it looks really good. And I love this bit underneath that protects the shock. So that goes all the way along, back down there towards the linkage, and just stops anything going up there and any rocks or anything going up there. I think that's really good. And the level of protection compared to the original one is brilliant. Who knows, it might even keep your feet a little bit dry too. There's the sump plug. I think you see my finger. That's the sump plug, and then you've got a big hole in here for you to gain access with your spanner. So you can still take that sump plug out, drain the bike with the engine guard on. Genius. So there it is, it's on. I think it looks really good. As we wrap up this afternoon's activities, we've just weighed these. So these plastic bits weigh 184 grams. This bit weighs 412 grams. So a net of just under 600 grams has been taken off, 596. That new bash guard weighs 3,256 grams, so it's a net add-on of 2,660 grams, which, considering the amount of protection we've now got, I think it's a price worth paying. So just over 2.5 kilos to protect your shock, your water pump, your header pipes even more, and the rest of the underside of the bike. I think that's a very small price to pay. So I'm really happy with it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and stay tuned because we've next got coming crash bars and luggage. So stay tuned for that. See you soon.